Welcome, I am Jay Stone Shi. Today we're going to talk about driver safety. We have two guests for you. The first one is Soiloi Tan. The second one is Mr. Chao Chi. I have a piece of information was given to me prior to the taping. It says by 2030, 1 in 4 drivers will be at the age of 65 or older, which means more than 30 million drivers by then will be 65 years or older on highway, on the road. So could you help me translate that? What does it mean for somebody like you as an instructor, as a driver safety instructor? Start with you, Mr. Tan.
Well, we are very concerned about the safety of the seniors. And senior drivers are normally very good drivers. They don't drink.
They're not good? I thought they were good.
They are very good. They don't drink. They don't do the texting, talk on cell phone.
Yeah.
They are normally well behaved. But if accident happens, they are not going to survive as well as the younger.
Because
folks.
They're
physically fragile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what about you?
Yeah, I think change is a major event, happens every day. So the car are changing, technology are changing, particularly ourselves are changing. Every day we are getting older and older. So even though we are very good drivers, once we have any kind of situations involved, our recovery rate is very, very poor. That's why we start very early, try to have the safe drive education, don't want to get into that situations.
Okay. How long, you are both in the volunteer driver safety instructor as that you play that role for a long time. I understand you have 12 years, right?
Yes, I have 12 years.
I've been teaching 9 years.
9 years. So,
Right.
so what is the most common problem / questions you run into during your courses, during your instruction course?
Well, most of the people, they do not ask questions.
They do
but
not ask
what we point out, what are most important cause of the accidents for them. And among them, for example, is failure to make to yield when making a left turn. That's a very
Failure to yield.
To yield.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other
And
one has
yeah.
the right of way.
Yeah.
The other guy.
And then, not just that. The second one is failure to recognize right of way.
Oh, when
Okay.
it's time for you to go, you don't go.
So yeah, number one is they cause accident when making left turn.
Okay.
Second one is right of way. And then the third one is when they are merging to the traffic. Those three accounted for about 75% of all the accidents.
In other words, they stop when they're supposed to go, they go when they're supposed to stop and watch.
Yes.
Right?
Well, all the drivers tend to be slow. They
Okay.
may be hesitant to make action.
Yeah.
Instead of moving, they don't move. Or the other driver may be too aggressive and anticipate them to make the turn or make the move. They did not, so that may cause accident.
What is your experience?
Yeah, I find when we're getting older, naturally, our response getting very slow. So when response is slow,
There's a confidence
causing a
level,
lot of
the
troubles
lack of
too.
it, right?
That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Also, sometimes now we lack of concentrations.
Okay.
And when we lack of concentrations, now sometimes we probably ignore some of the critical signals on the highways or on the driveways. You know, yield right away, as he mentioned earlier, those are very common situations. Also, at the stop sign, many cases now people don't stop properly. So currently, I think there's one of the major ticket issue now is so-called a rolling stop in California. That
I do
ticket
that.
costs about
I do
$600.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
So just small little things. So therefore, I think when we're getting older, we need to be more careful. Also try to review the rules of driving, and also try to keep ourselves physically conditioning. Suppose when we try to take some medicine, we have to understand some of the side effects. When we were young, now we never do things like that. So
We don't need to.
medications
Yeah.
can cause a lot of trouble as well.
Okay, which really brings
Bring all
to
the
the
issues.
to the main subject of today's conversation,
That's
which
correct.
is the under the
Influences.
the driving landscape. That's the term I use
That's
too.
correct,
The driving landscape. Why is it important for you guys to come to the show to talk about this, and if the elderly, the 65 or older driver,
Yeah.
if they don't understand the change or how to adapt,
Yeah.
what will the problems
Cause
be?
the problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Another thing I find now is, for example, when we're getting older, vision, hearing automatically coming down.
Yeah.
So therefore, at a certain time now, when we're getting older, perhaps at the dawn time now, it's hard to drive. A lot of night flash. We cannot see the road well. Those kind of time now, we probably try to cutting down our driving requirement.
Is there a law like to set to the limit of the how there's like you have a driver's license?
No.
Is there a point that the law said you're not allowed
No,
to drive
no,
anymore?
not by age.
Not by age.
Not
by
age.
age,
That's against the age discriminations.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, actually, I think DMV now encourage everybody to be able to drive as long as physically, mentally, you are permitted to do so, because driving is very important to everyone.
So let's talk about this driving landscape. Let's
Correct.
go back to the
Sure.
driving landscape. If we don't pay attention to what you gentlemen has been taught and what you gentlemen are talking about today, what will be the consequences? This seems like an obvious answer, but I have to cover that.
I think now the severe damage is any kind of involved accident. For example, now people involved with accidentally stepping on the gas instead stepping on the brake creates a lot of casualty and also a lot of innocent life lost. So whenever you have an accident now, you lost financially, physically, also you're causing the social
Problems.
taken care of and the family issues. So productivity is also way low. So I think if we usually calculate each small accident, average cost is about $16,000. For the
$16,000?
16,000 average, because with damage and
So
medical,
there's
so on and so forth.
there's human costs, there's financial costs,
Right.
and there's
Social costs,
There's social
right.
costs.
Actually, yeah, along that line, 2009 they would estimate that if there's fatality involved, it would be costing about $6 million.
Could you
per-
repeat that
per-
again?
2009 they would estimate.
2011 estimate.
2009.
2009.
They said that if there's a fatality involved in the accident,
If there's a
Yeah,
fatality,
somebody
involved-
died.
Okay.
Somebody died. On average, it costs about $6 million per accident like that.
Accident per accident.
Yeah. But for general accidents, it's only about a couple $100,000 per accident.
So that statement really, for me, it nails why we need to do the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's switch to another angle. The loved ones, the family of
Tremendous.
the elderly drivers. Is there a time where they can watch, how the elderly driver react or behave? They think it's time for them to step in to talk about the driver safety or to bring the elderly driver up to date regarding the knowledge and everything. Is there a time frame that you can
Yeah,
provide
I think
us?
actually the timing frame is the sooner the better. Once
sooner the
you
better.
find the driver have some kind of more frequency of violate minor regulations or ignore the signs. And this is where we call let us talk. That
Let
one of
us
the
talk.
topics, let us talk.
Okay.
So I think is in this ARP Safe Drive class, ARP uniquely have one chapter devote directly into the topic of when not to drive, which is very, very, very critical.
Okay,
Very
tell
important.
us.
Yeah, we try to give us more kind of an early smart and early understanding when not to drive. Instead of at a certain point now, people are forced us not to drive, which is very crucial. So therefore, if we find someone, particularly the family member, have a physical problem or mental related problems, try to avoid the seniors not to drive or cutting down the drives. Also try to provide some means provide the need of transportations, which is very crucial.
Okay, this is from the family member, from the
family
loved one
members,
standpoint.
loved ones. Yeah.
From the driver's standpoint, don't you think, I would assume the driver himself or herself should realize by a certain point that you shouldn't drive. It's not that you cannot drive, you shouldn't drive anymore.
It is very difficult for
Psychologically, I know.
anybody to give up driving
right.
because
Yeah.
to them that's taking away their independence,
Right.
their control of their
Right.
life.
Right.
So it's very important, just like what Chow said.
Uh-huh.
Loved ones, we should always be very vigilant, watching our elder people, see how they are behaving in their driving. And we could find almost many leads as to when we should start conversation with them. For example, if there's a lot of traffic tickets issued, for example, if they were involved in a small accident like fender benders or maybe even hit the garage door, for example, these are starting point for giving
Before
a
it
hint
gets
that
any
maybe
worse.
we should
Yeah.
start talking to them about whether they could consider alternate transportation, for example. And it is very difficult to talk to somebody to give up driving, and we have to be very careful about how we do about it. And usually the people that is closest to the person, like the spouse, would be the first person that you would want them to be talking to this gentleman. And then another thing that I always tell the class, the best actually, is to have their doctor
To talk to their doctor.
talk to them. Yeah.
Okay.
The doctor talk to the patient.
Okay.
Tell them about they are endangering not only to themselves but maybe to the other people also by continue driving. That's the easiest way for them to start thinking about maybe they could consider giving up.
I could imagine, put myself in the shoes that someday, somehow,
Yes.
I come to the point that say, Stone, you cannot drive anymore. That is very devastating
Yes.
psychologically,
Right.
because it's like my selfness is gone,
Yeah.
right? So that also proved the importance of being a loved one, that you need to use whatever means.
Right.
And I guess today, only 14, 15 minutes show, we cannot cover everything.
Sure.
Is there a place that you can suggest our viewer to go if you want to find out more information?
Yes, I have a particular one published by AARP, which is very, very
Okay,
nice.
can I hold this
Yeah,
up for me?
yeah.
Let's hold
Yes,
it
for-
up to the, this is,
This we call We Need to Talk.
we need, okay.
I guess the worst things try to tell the senior is, oh, you cannot drive, you are too dangerous. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
dare to ride with you.
Okay.
That's the worst things to do. So the right proper procedure now is very well suggested by this book.
Okay, where can I get them?
I think we have a website here.
AARP.org.
AARP.org.
Yeah,
okay.
we can find out. We
AARP.org.
need to talk.
Okay.
This is kind of like a 2-hour seminars
Okay.
online. Beautiful. It's
I
beautiful.
have only about 1 minute plus left for
Okay.
for today's show. Explain what is CarFit, CARFIT.
Okay. Yeah. Usually when we sit in the seatbelt can be adjusted, the seat can be adjusted,
Right.
the wheel can be adjusted,
Yeah.
the height can be
To
adjusted.
make it fit you?
Yeah, make you fit.
Make
So
you
therefore we call car fit. Make the equipment safety issues fit the drivers. Sometimes, for example, a husband and wife driving the same car. A lot of cases now, let's say the wife driving, husband drives a certain way, the wife step in just doing the same thing. That's incorrect. You should try to minor adjust the position, fit the individuals.
I
This
got a
called
simple
car fit.
solution for you, in case you haven't talked about this yet.
Right.
There's a memory button in a car. Usually.
Yes, that's
memory
correct.
set 1,
Oh,
memory
yeah,
set
yeah.
2,
That-
right?
that is
So
correct.
It's just
That-
solve all
That
the
is
problem.
very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
So therefore, on the CarFit now, we talk about 12 points in a sense. The most critical part now is the seatbelt, the space between the airbags, we like to leave 10 inches,
Okay.
and then the outside mirrors.
Our time is up. Repeat for
Okay.
me, please. AARP.org.
Right.
.org
all the information is on there?
/drive.
Okay.
/drive.
Okay. Today we talk about driver safety. Thank you very much for watching.